Let's talk about data types. What is the size of short 2 bytes? What is the size of byte? It's 1 byte. What is the size of char? It's 2 bytes. And what is the size of boolean? It's 1 byte. Ideally, 1 bit is sufficient. If bit is storing 0, it represents false. If bit is storing 1, it represents true. However, size of boolean is not 1 bit, it's 1 byte. And what should be the reason behind it? The smallest consumable memory from the RAM is 1 byte. So even if you design the data type of 1 bit, you cannot fetch it from the RAM. Hence, it is of the size 1 byte. And what about long? It occupies 8 bytes. Someone will say it depends on architecture of the system. In C++, if a system is having 64-bit, then it will occupy 8 bytes of memory. And if a system is having 32-bit architecture, it will occupy 4 bytes of memory. And what about long in C++? It occupies 8 bytes. So if you need 8 bytes of memory in C++, you should avoid using long as it depends on architecture of the system, and we should prefer using long. As you write your code on HackerRank, CodeChef, CodeForces, and when you click on run button, where does your code execute? When you click on run button, where does your code execute? Is it executed on your local machine? No, right? Your code is executed on server, and that server might be of 32-bit or 64-bit. So if you want to use 8-byte data, you should not use long in C++ and always go for long. Of course, for Java and .NET, long is the only option. Everyone clear so far? Let's discuss about signed and unsigned data type. In signed data type, MSB is considered as negative, while in unsigned, it is considered as positive. So if you want to declare data type as unsigned, you have to explicitly mention it. If you write int x, it will be considered as signed data type. And if you write unsigned int x, then it will be considered as unsigned data type. Are you clear so far? Let's suppose you're given a chance to design the data type for your language of your choice, and you design the data type which consists of 3 bits, right? It can be both signed as well as unsigned. I hope it's clear. In order to understand this example, let's suppose in Java, when you declare the data type as byte, you can store minimum minus 128 and maximum 127 into byte data type, right? And the size of byte data type is 1 byte and it has 8 bits. So if you have designed the data type having 3 bits, it should have some minimum and maximum value. Let's discuss for signed data type first. In 3-bit storage, there are 8 possible combinations of zeros and ones. So there are 8 possible combinations. If you want, you can try to figure out one more combination. Definitely I can say the combination which you will get will be present over here. So let's try to figure it out value for each combination. What I have said, it's a signed data type. If it is a signed data type, MSB will be considered as negative. So its value is 1, its value is 2, and its value is minus 4 as it is MSB. So if everything is 0, what is the value? 0 into 1 plus 2 into 0 plus minus 4 into 0, 0. For this combination, what is the value? 1 into 0 plus 2 into 0 plus minus 4 into 1, which is nothing but minus 4. Similarly, for this combination, value would be 1 into 0, 2 into 1 plus minus 4 into 0. It's nothing but 2. For this combination, result would be, let me write it down, 1 into 0 plus 2 into 1 plus minus 4 into 1. If you will add them up, you will get the value as minus 2. Similarly, when you will figure it out the value for all the other combinations, you will get the result as 1, minus 3, 3 and minus 1. So based on these value, if you will figure it out the min and max, you will notice that for 3-bit signed, minimum is minus 4 and maximum is 3, right? Let's say this time you're designing the data type of size 4-bit and you're using it as an signed data type. Let's see what is the minimum and maximum possible value. So there will be around 16 combinations. First bit has the value 1, second bit has the value 2, third bit has the value 4 and fourth bit has the value minus 8 as it is MSB over here. So can you tell me out of these 16 combination which one is maximum and which one is minimum? This combination will yield the maximum value and this combination will yield the minimum value. Suppose I have given you an array and array contains minus 5, 6, 7 and 1. Now what you have to do, you have to take some elements from this array and you have to tell me what is the minimum possible sum of all that element which you will pick it up. You have an option, you can pick no elements. If you pick no elements, so sum will be 0. If you will pick 7 and 1, your sum would be 8. Still minimum is 0. If you will pick minus 5 and 1, then your sum would be minus 4. If you will only pick minus 5, your sum would be minimum. If you pick up any other combinations, still minus 5 would be your minimum sum. So how I am reaching the value minus 5? In my mind, I've used the very simple algorithm. What's that? I will pick up the element which will increase the negativity in the sum. If that's so, I have to pick up minus 5. And if I want to maximize the negativity, I have to decrease the positive value. So how to do that? Not to pick these elements. Same thing you are doing it over here. If you notice how you are getting minus 4, you are maximizing the negative value and you are not picking anything from positive results. Same thing you are doing it over here. You are maximizing the negative value and not picking anything from the positive results. Right? Now, how you are finding the maximum result? Let's consider the same example of an array. What you're doing it over here, you're picking up the elements which will increase the value of sum. So you will pick 6, 7 and if you notice, if you will pick 1, still it will help you to increase the value of the sum. So you will pick it up. You will neglect the negative part, right? So same thing you are doing it over here. You are selecting 0, 111 and 0, 11 because these two values signify that you are selecting the positive value and 0 signify that you are not selecting the negative value. Same thing happening over here. This 0 signify that you are not selecting the MSB, which is negative in case of signed data type. I hope I made my point. Now let's try to come up with some conclusion. When we were having only 3-bit, max value was 3 and min value was minus 4. When we were having 4-bit, max value was 7 and min value was minus 8. Are you able to notice any pattern in this? Can you come up with some formula for nth bit? If you notice, it is nothing but to the power n minus 1 minus 1. And what about minimum? Minus to the power n minus 1. I hope you are able to come up with the formula. If you want to recheck it, you can put the value 3 and 4 and check whether you are getting the desired result or not. Now let's talk about int data type. It occupies 4 bytes of memory. 4 byte means how many bits? 32. And if we apply the formula over here, what we will get? Minus to the power 31 as the minimum value to the power 31 minus 1 as the maximum value. But when you look into the minus to the power 31, are you getting any imagination what this value would look like? No, right? Can you tell me what is the value of to the power 10? It's equal to 1024. Can I say that it's approximately equal to 1000, which is nothing but 10 to the power 3. So to the power 10 is approximately equal to 10 to the power 3. So to the power 20 will approximately equal to 10 to the power 6. To the power 30 will approximately equal to 10 to the power 9. So can I rewrite this equation as minus 2 into 2 to the power 30 to 2 into 2 to the power 30 minus 1. Now I will replace the value of 2 to the power 30 in this equation. It will look something like this. Minus 2 into 10 to the power 9 to 2 into 10 to the power 9 minus 1. 2 to the power 30 is approximately equal to 10 to the power 9. We are already using approximation over here. So we can neglect this minus 1.
So can I say range is from minus 2 into 10 to the power 9 to
2 into 10 to the power 9. Can you repeat this process for long data type? Basically long in Java and long in C++. Pause the video, think about the solution, then continue watching it. Long data type will occupy 8 bytes. 8 byte means 64 bit. If you will apply the formula, you will get the result as minus 2 to the power 63 to 2 to the power 63 minus 1. If 2 to the power 30 is approximately equal to 10 to the power 9, 2 to the power 60 is approximately equal to 10 to the power 18, right? And minus 2 to the power 63 can be rewritten as minus 2 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 60. Powers will add up, right? Now I will substitute 10 to the power 18 over here. So it will look minus 2 to the power 3 is nothing but minus 8 into 10 to the power 18. 8 into 10 to the power 18 minus 1. And we can ignore the minus 1 as it's already an approximation. I hope you're getting clarity when to use int, when to use long. We generally store the integer in int. If you're not able to store it in int, you should use long. If you're still not able to store it in long, you should use big integer. And it is specific to Java. Can you tell me size of float data type? It's nothing but 4 bytes. Can you tell me size of double? It's nothing but 8 bytes. If you notice, size of float is similar to size of int and size of double is similar to size of long, and float and double has to store fractional value as well, right? So the range of float and double should be less than range of int, but that's not true. So it's your task to study about float and double, difference between them and how they work. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.